Good morning, and thank you, Karen, and thank you to Dr. Gerald and the Middle Country School District, and to everybody that's here. We're standing here up at the podium, but if you look, there are many representatives from various school districts all throughout Suffolk and Nassau County, and that's a very good thing. And the most important thing that everybody should be looking at is not necessarily the people who are up here, but the young men and women who are here as students. The movers and shakers, kids who are involved in the government classes and everything else that goes on here in the Middle Country School District. So if we're going to talk about education, let's focus on why we're all here, and these are the students. And I want to thank all of them for being here. Hopefully this is a good lesson in grassroots activism and civic participation, and that class that all of you guys call PIG, I still don't know why, but participation in government, which is a good thing. But we are here to talk about educational funding for Long Island, and I want to compliment Karen again and all the people who are involved in this movement, and frankly, this is something that is extraordinarily important to Long Island. I stand as one representative of approximately 306,000 people, and while I won't pretend to speak for all of my colleagues, I think some of the things I could say would be certainly representative and symbolic of many of what my colleagues would say if they were here as well. And this is about fairness. It's about equitable distribution of money. It's about education. It's about quality of life on Long Island. And it's about property taxes. It's about property taxes, property taxes, and property taxes. Everybody hears it every place you go. I keep saying it every place I go. And I would fundamentally say that the people that we work with in our various communities, they are absolutely willing to invest in education. You move to certain areas, you say, why am I going there? I'm going there because there are good schools. That's the largest reason why people end up where they do. So all the people from Long Island are asking for, we're really not asking for any more. We're just asking for what's fair and what's equitable. And I want to dispel a couple of myths that are out there all the time. Long Islanders are not asking for a redistribution. We don't want to take money away from other areas of the state. I want Rochester to be funded. I want Syracuse and Buffalo and Yonkers and New York City. We all want them to be funded. They have acute needs that need to be addressed. So we're not looking in any way, shape, or form to try and take money from other areas of the state. And in fact, everybody should understand that in this year's budget, while there was a lot more money for Long Island, we added $168 million to the city of New York on top of what the governor proposed. We added $200 million for the rest of the state on top of what the governor proposed. We took a proposal that had actually some good components in it and made it a lot better. Now, I also think it's very important to recognize that all of us, individually and collectively, when the governor does something right for Long Island, we should all say thank you. And I will do that at every opportunity, and I know my colleagues will as well. So if you look at the long-range picture, he proposed a $7 billion increase in educational funding over 4 years. That's a good thing. That's a good thing for the state of New York. It sends a strong message. He also talked about a 4-year plan. That's a very good thing for the state as well. It gives the folks who are here an opportunity to better plan not only in the short term but the long term. But like anything else, the devil's in the details. So the proposal that came out this year was not fair for Long Island. It was a flat line for Long Island compared to many other areas in the state. 3%. So a school district like Middle Country over 4 years would only get 12%. I live in Northport. They would have only gotten 12%. A school district, I see Sachem, a whole bunch of other districts here. That's what happened to many districts on Long Island. And in the big scheme of things, if you said that's how it's got to be all across the board, okay. But there were plenty of places who were getting 9, 10, 11, and 12%. And in 1 year, that might not be such a bad thing. But over a 4-year plan, when Long Island's getting 12% and other areas are getting 36, 38, 40, 42%, that's not fair and that's not equitable. So we're not asking for more. We're asking for a decent share and a fair share of the resources that are available. Now, when we came through this budget year, things worked out well. I said it was about property taxes and education. We drove more money to Long Island. School budgets passed. We helped to mitigate the property tax increases. That's a good thing for Long Island. It maintains our educational excellence and it maintains our quality of life. And frankly, that's what we're fighting for every day. But now as we move forward, we have a region's proposal that's devastating for Long Island. absolutely devastating. I and my other colleagues from the Senate majority have written to the Commissioner and the Chairman of the Board of Regents, and we laid it all out very clearly on what the issues are. Their proposal is a 10% increase statewide. But for Long Island, it stinks. It's not a good proposal. Now, you could pick out, I'm sure you could pick out some districts that would do well. But we're talking about the collective benefit or not to Long Island. And the Regent's proposal is not a good proposal for Long Island. Karen mentioned some of the things. Last year, we put in $100 million in high tax aid. $70 million of that went right to Long Island. Gone. Last year, we made a special category of $17 million in special education funding to recognize school districts who are doing the job and who had growth in their programs. Growth in their programs. I'm not talking about anything special. That's gone too. Now, one of the things that nobody has really talked about yet is, because we haven't seen the details, because it could get worse, and they're going to realign BOCES. They're going to shift around how the money gets spent, and that's going to hurt some of our school districts, because they plan for that, and in expense-driven aid, that's not the way it should be done. So when the Regents come out and they say, boy, record increase in aid to education, the devil's in the details. And for Long Island, it's not a beneficial plan. And they should know that. They took the governor's proposal at 3% and said, we're going to knock it down to 2%. I didn't hear the governor saying anything about that. Nobody's criticizing the Regents' plan, and frankly, even the governor's office should be doing that. Now, the governor was here on Long Island yesterday. I think that's a good thing. He spent the entire day here on Long Island, and I keep talking to people, including the people here. We need to help educate the Regents and the governor about the face of Long Island. Who are the people that are here on Long Island? Why are we here? What are the things that are important to us? And as I said before, the people here are willing to invest in their communities. All they want is a fair share. Now, the governor also came out at a budget hearing and at presentations in Albany, almost remarkably consistent with the Regents' proposal, which means probably at least $100 million knocked right out from the base. And the scenario that could play out is not the way it should be done. We shouldn't have to start by fighting for something that should be a given from the beginning of the negotiations. I don't want to have to go to Albany and fight for something that should be in the base. High tax aid is $70 million to Long Island. Why should we have to go back and fight for that? And then, at the end of the day, everyone will go, oh, wow, we got the high tax aid back. That should be a given. The special ed should be a given. And if we're going to be doing anything, we should be leveling up. So part of our message here today is that we have to stick together, speak with a unified voice, and make everyone understand that all the people here are asking for is what's fair and what's equitable. What's in the best interest of our kids here on Long Island? That's the overriding goal. So as we move forward, I am hopeful that what we've seen from the Regents will be gone. I am hopeful that the governor will listen before his true budget proposal comes out. But what they've laid out so far is not beneficial to Long Island. And I've probably made it clear that I have no intention of being shy about this, as the people here will be the same way. So this is going to be, right now it looks like an uphill battle. But we're prepared to do that and get invested and get involved in every way, shape, or form that's necessary to protect the interests of Long Island. Thank you very much.